guys, it's Kelly in the garden. Well, I did it. This week I got out there in the garden and I did way too much and woke up the next day and my back was so sore. And I'm putting myself on the naughty list because I shouldn't have done that. I overdid it. But I wanted to get down to the hillside over here and take a look at that, and it was overgrown with weeds. Look at that. Just weeds all in there. And I needed to get to that. It was driving me crazy. So I uncovered most of the plants that I had put down there on the hillside project and laid down some cardboard and some mulch. And what was only supposed to be an hour project ended up being about 3 hours. And then I did more. I couldn't just stop there. No, that would be too easy, right? So I got in there. There's a huge euphorbia that needed to come out, and I took that out, and that was right here behind the screen, and it was really huge. They get really too big, and it was going to be a huge problem if I didn't take it out right away. So I went ahead and I tackled that as well and remulched and woke up the next day and my back was killing me. So I put myself on the naughty list and can't do that anymore. I have to really moderate how much I spend in the garden and be really careful about not overdoing things, because I really did overdo things. But the good news is there's tons of things that I can do in the garden that don't require me to stress my back out further. We had a couple mornings of frost and it's got to some of the plants, and so I can get out there today and just start pruning those plants. Like this black-eyed Susan vine, it needs to be pruned a little bit. I can get in there and take some of these off, and this is no stress to my back at all. And some of the nasturtiums didn't fare so well. So I can go around and take a look at those and see if there's any of the nasturtium that need to be cut back. I might need to prune some of my nasturtium entirely. Sorry, the light is really bad. And some of them I might be able to just prune them. Others I'm going to need to just completely take out, which is fine. Nasturtium are really easy to get going, and I have more seeds so I can plant more. But I'm just taking a look at those things to see if there's any that I haven't already taken care of. And there's just some leaves on this. So minor pruning like this, I can handle. I can't do any bending over with my back and stress my lower back out. But the pruning where the cold got some of the leaves on some of my plants, I can go ahead and prune those off. So that's one of the things that I can get done in the garden in the next couple days while my back's still on the mend. And the other thing too, I have bought some Oyas. And if you don't know what Oyas are, I'll show you those. And I need to get those in. And I'm going to put those in the farm. Get rid of these leaves. You plant them in the soil. And I'm just going to get these positioned in the areas of the farm where during the summer, the fall and summer, when it's really hard to get water to the soil, these Oyas will help because I can fill them. I can fill them with water, put them into the soil just to the neck, fill it with water, and gradually it will seep out water to the roots of plants. So I think I have 5 of these. So that's something I can decide where I want to put these and lay these out. That's one thing I can do, and get these positioned where I want them. And then when my back is feeling better, then I can get these dug in and put in. So that'll be good. And if they work well, then I'm planning on ordering some more for the raised bed garden too. That's going to be a big help in the summer and the fall when things are so dry. This is one of the nasturtium that I can trim back. Just take off the leaves that are the frost got. And these are little tasks that I can do without wrenching my back even further. And I'll just take all these off and put them in the compost. Might not be much left when I get done, but it'll regrow. And if it doesn't, it's fine. I have more seeds that I can put out. But I think this one will do fine. There are some that did not do well, and I think I've got and clipped all of those or taken those out, so should be good. But you have to watch plants like this that have damage like this because they are magnets for bad bugs to come and eat. Any plant that gets stressed, that is the first one that bad bugs go to start chomping on. So just a heads up, I'm going to want to watch these kind of things. The nasturtium are so easy to grow, it's okay, but on other plants, you definitely need to watch those kind of things. So just throw these in the compost here. I also got my 3 pincushion plants put in this week. Another stress to the back. When I say I overdo things, I really overdo them. So I really need to moderate how much time I'm putting out in the garden doing tasks like that. And then another thing that I can do in the garden this week is to just inspect plants for any kind of pests. And this one has something munching on it. So I'm going to have to evaluate that and get in there and put some kind of either neem oil or Captain Jack's on there and try and get that taken care of because they are just munching down on this. Don't you just hate that? So it's just a matter of using my time wisely. I can go around and just find things that can be done with an injured back, and it just requires not bending over. So remembering that don't bend over, don't stress the back out. That's the key thing. I can also deadhead things. I don't really have very many things that need to be deadheaded right now, but if I did, I could go ahead and deadhead a bunch of things right now because that's something that can be done, especially on taller plants. And I'm going to take you on a journey here to look at the daffodils. So I'm going to turn you around so you can see. So here are the daffodils in the garden. And they go all the way around. So they start over here and go all the way over there. And this is one of the euphorbias that I took out behind that screen. This is the mother to all of them. And see how huge she is? She takes up so much space. I'm going to have to eventually take her out, and probably the sooner the better. She's just way too big and has become a big problem. So she's going. I don't think I'll be able to save her. I can save some cuttings and put them down the hill, but they're not going up in the garden. No more of these big euphorbias in the garden. Unless they're in pots, they're not going to be in the garden. And it's too bad too because they have beautiful blooms. Really gorgeous. But I can't deal with that. That's just way too much. That is, yeah, taking over the garden. So here's the rest of the daffodils. Some by the house. There's more peeking out here. And this is my raised bed. And it's got some paper whites there. And other bulbs are coming up. And yeah, that's part of the problem with the back right there. I was doing loads and loads of wheelbarrow wood chips and stressed the back out. And here's the rest of the daffodils. Some of them haven't opened up, but most of them have. These are paper whites that I only had one of them bloom this year. You can see the dried bloom there. So I need to dig those out. And I say that, I've been saying that the last couple of years. I need to dig them up and separate them, and they probably start blooming again. Divide those up. But I wanted to show you too the blooms on this. You see? Really neat. Really beautiful plant. I love this plant. I have 2, and they require very little to no water. All they really get is the rain every year, but there's some more blooms there. So pretty. I'll put the name of the plant up because I can't remember it right now, but love this plant. This is another plant that's doing really well, and another plant that I can't tell you the name of because my mom bought it for me and I did not save the tag. But isn't it beautiful? Beautiful yellow blooms. It's really pretty. This is something that the frost did. My purple fountain grass was absolutely gorgeous, and then 2 cold mornings of frost, and that's what it took to turn to that where it's all brown. They were looking great, and I didn't need to cut them back this year. And then this happened. So, all of them. And these out in the spiral are the worst. So, I have to decide what I'm going to do. Usually, I cut them back already. I have already cut them back, but they were doing so well, I decided to keep them and not cut them back. But so this is an exception. I usually will cut these back fairly early in the winter, and I didn't do it this year because they were looking so good. At this point, I might decide just to keep them the way they are, just to protect the crowns and the inside. And then as spring approaches, probably cut them back then when the new growth is coming in. But you can see there, it's just on the top. It's still green on the inside. But if we do get any more frost, if I leave them this way, it will help protect it. So I think that's my best option at this point, is just to leave it like this. And then in early spring, when the frost, our last average frost date has passed, then I'll go ahead and trim them early spring. But yeah, lots of yellow in the garden right now. The daffodils are up in the cactus patch. Middle garden's shaping up good. See, these got it too. These two not as bad. That one and that one not as bad, but this one definitely. So I'm just at this point going to leave them, and I'll cut them back early spring this year. It's totally different from what I normally do, but I think that's the best case scenario. And I continue to have cornflowers, bachelor buttons blooming, and I've never had them this time of year before, but here they are blooming in January. That is nuts. And that's not the only one. I've got one over here that's about to bloom. Crazy, crazy weather. And here's the thing for you too. If I think a lot of us will buy plants and keep them in their nursery pots for a long time, and then feel bad about it that they're still in the nursery pots. If you buy a plant in a nursery pot, you don't have time to plant it. Here's one key thing that you can do is you can hide it behind ground cover. So really, you can't really see that that is a nursery pot with that hellebore. And I'm able to put it there and kind of hide the fact that it's in a nursery pot. I really don't want to plant it right now. I need to get a good pot for it, that one and the others that I have. And so that's going to have to wait a while. I can't do any heavy lifting right now. Moving things around and things like that can wait. Buying pot for that hellebore can wait. It's doing fine in the nursery pot. So you can also find other decorative pots and just slip them in. And so I might try to see if I can find one and just slip this nursery pot right in the other pot that's more decorative, and that'll do the job for the time being. So you just kind of have to think outside of the box when you have an injury, and what you can do in the garden, and how different ways that you can improvise. And isn't this salvia beautiful? So gorgeous. I got this from the Master Gardener sale in the fall. So pretty. The beds are doing really well. I've got a bunch got a bunch of bulbs that came up in the beds. So those are looking good. Some poppies there. There are things that I can do in the garden with an injured back without stressing it out further. Pruning plants, I can deadhead plants, I can pull weeds that are in pots and raised. I don't want to get down on the ground and be bending over and injuring my back more, so the weeds will have to stay. Christmas Joy and jelly beans, these sedums are really fun plants. They're really easy to get started, and if you put some in the soil, they will keep growing and producing more and more and more, and great starter plant for kids. So they just need to know that just because they're jelly beans doesn't mean they can eat them, because they definitely don't want to eat. These plants would be toxic to eat. So keep these kind of plants away from you know, little kids, babies, and toddlers. And also, you want to keep them away from any of your cats and dogs that are apt to get into them and try and eat them, because they're not good for animals either. But great plant for older kids to start if they're interested in growing plants. And all you need to do with these sedums is just snip and put it in soil. Don't worry about injuring the plant that's in the pot, because these will grow back. They'll start to grow more clusters off of where you cut it. So they just keep growing and growing. So theoretically, I could cut all of these off and just leave stems and they would regrow. But I'm going to leave a few on just for aesthetics. But these are really, really fun plants. And I try and keep several pots of these in my yard all over the place, because I do add them in arrangements in the garden. So I've got them stuck in all kinds of different little pots with other succulents. They're easy, they require very little water, and just such a fun plant. They get really sun stressed, so they'll turn like an orange and red the more sun they have. And in the shade, the plants will be a little bit more towards the green and lighter shade. So whichever you prefer, or you can grow them in both, not a problem. These are fun plants. And you don't have to worry about being too, you know, you can place it however you want, but you know, they're going to look great no matter what, because they're easy. They're just easy plants. These are the kind of things that with a back injury, I can sit here and I can do this without stressing, without bending over too much, and it's a lot of fun. You can grow these indoors as long as you have a window, close to a window where it's pretty bright light. They'll do fine. And very little water, low water needs. They don't like soggy soil, so keep them on the dry side. But you do want to water them occasionally. But when you do, don't over soak it, and make sure that you have drainage, a drainage hole in the bottom of the pot. I grow mine outdoors and they do just fine. These plants will regrow. So if they do get affected by the frost, just cut them down to the base of the stalk and they will regrow. So it's not a total loss. In California, we don't get that hard of freezes, so it's not going to kill these plants. It may kill them what's above ground, but if you cut them down and cut to the base of the plant, it will start to regrow again and you'll have more plants. So it's just a matter of time. And it's always good to have pots full of these, because you can take and add these to other containers, and they bring a lot of color and variation and that low height to an arrangement. They also can be used in things like rooftop succulents for a birdhouse rooftop. They can be used on pumpkin succulents and just different decorative things that you're going to be trying out on the craft side of things. So that's all you really need to do with these, is just put them in the soil like this, and they're going to grow. Just give them some time, they'll grow and they'll grow and grow, and then you'll be able to snip off of these and have even more. Succulents are great plants, and I could take any kind of these succulents, just like this little trailer, and put that in the soil and it will grow. It's that easy. Because I love to be in the garden, I have to think about things that are not going to stress my back out for the next week and give it a rest. And then I can get out there and start gardening again. And I just need to do it in moderation. I can't do more than an hour at a time. I just have to be careful about the chores that I do. And if I have something really huge project that needs a lot of labor, intensive labor, then I might think about hiring somebody to do that one task for me. I'm a low budget gardener, so that is totally out of the usual realms for me to hire somebody, but I'd be willing to do it on big tasks if need be. So thanks so much for joining me in the garden today, and I hope you guys get out there and garden your hearts out.